In the music world, Black R&B legends have always stood out as powerful, influential figures. Their unmatched talent and unforgettable songs have shaped generations and won the hearts of millions. But beyond the bright lights and iconic performances, there's a hidden side most people never see, a side filled with personal battles, painful mistakes, and lives impacted by drugs, violence, and controversy. These 18 legendary R&B artists once stood at the top, admired, celebrated, and surrounded by fame and fortune. But like many who rise too fast and fly too high, they faced their breaking point. Their struggles with addiction, personal turmoil, and public scandals didn't just impact their careers, they changed their lives forever. Drop a comment with 1 if you empathize with their journeys, or 0 if you see things differently. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because these stories aren't just about music. They're powerful reminders of history, resilience, and voices that never truly faded. They're simply waiting to be remembered. In the 1,990 seconds, R. Kelly didn't just dominate R&B, he redefined it. His album 12 plays shattered records, going 6 times platinum. And with I Believe I Can Fly, he reached a global peak. 3 Grammys, millions of copies sold, and a voice that seemed untouchable. He wasn't just a star, he was a cultural force, shaping the sound of a generation. But while the world celebrated his genius, a far darker story was unfolding behind the fame. In 1994, the first cracks in his polished image appeared when he entered into an illegal marriage with Aaliyah, who was underage at the time. The certificate was forged, the union quickly annulled, yet the damage was done. Whispers turned into headlines, admiration turned into suspicion, and the world began to ask, who was the real man behind the music? By 2002, a leaked tape allegedly showing him with an underage girl stunned the public and sparked nationwide outrage. He later went to trial and was acquitted in 2008 after bringing in a team of high-profile attorneys. Even as more accusations surfaced over the years, he continued touring and releasing new music behind the scenes. In later interviews and reports, accusers described painful experiences, saying they were isolated for long periods and pressured into inappropriate situations without their family's knowledge. By the late 2010 seconds, a tangle of lawsuits, overwhelming debt, and unpaid taxes had left him financially ruined. Then in 2019, the documentary Surviving R. Kelly offered the public a raw, detailed look into survivors' stories. Streaming services pulled back on promoting his music, Sony Music severed ties, and public sentiment shifted dramatically. In 2021, he was found guilty of racketeering, sex trafficking, and multiple abuses. A year later, he was sentenced to 30 years behind bars, his once rising career reduced to ashes. Once an idol, he became inmate Namar 0962714, stripped of fame, fortune, and freedom, now paying for decades of crimes. Do you believe his music should still be celebrated apart from his crimes? Or should his legacy be wiped clean entirely? Michael Sumler, better known as Chicago, Mike tragically died in a head-on car accident late on Sunday, the 24th of May 2025, in Mableton, Georgia, at the age of 71. According to the Cobb County Police Department, the crash occurred on Veterans Memorial Highway near Buckner Road. The other driver walked away uninjured, but the Cobb County medical examiner confirmed that Sumler died at the scene. Mapleton Mayor Michael Owens shared heartfelt words after the loss, saying, "His style and energy brought a burst of excitement to Kool and the gang for decades." Just hours before the crash, Sumler had been on stage at the Mabel House Barnes Outdoor Theater, performing alongside other funk legends at a show called An Evening of Funk. Mike Cooper, founder of Con-Funk Shun, also honored his memory, writing, "Thank you, Mike, for always supporting Con-Funk. We had no idea that Lowe's train on Sunday night would be your final ride. Rest in heaven." Over the years, Sumler became a true fan favorite. While he wasn't one of the band's original members, he brought a fresh spark to their live shows. His rhythm, timing, and genuine connection to the music helped Kool and the gang carry their sound across generations, giving longtime fans something to cherish and new listeners something to fall in love with. His role wasn't always front and center, but those who performed beside him and those who danced to the music felt his impact. Since forming in 1964, Kool and the gang has had more than 40 members, and Sumler remains one of the voices who helped shape their legacy on stage. Authorities confirmed the news, and it was later reported by Entertainment Weekly. Sumler joined Kool and the Gang in 1985, stepping into a group that had already secured its place in R&B and funk history. What began as a behind-the-scenes role as a stylist and choreographer soon evolved into something far greater. With his vibrant energy, commanding stage presence, and unmistakable flair, Sumler became the spark that energized the band, defining their live shows for more than 3 decades. The band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2024, honored for their lasting influence on funk, soul, and R&B. Michael Sumler's presence was a key part of carrying that legacy into the 21st century. His passing left a profound impact not only on the group, but also across the wider music community, where fans and fellow musicians alike admired Chicago Mike for the passion and heart he brought to every performance. Suge Knight, the co-founder of Death Row Records, was a driving force behind the rise of West Coast hip-hop in the 1990 seconds. More than just a groundbreaking record executive, he became one of the most powerful and controversial figures in entertainment. Under his leadership, Death Row Records launched and supported legendary artists such as Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac Shakur, shaping an entire era of hip-hop. Known for his intimidating business tactics and commanding presence, Knight earned both respect and fear throughout the industry, leaving a lasting mark on music history. Knight's career took a sharp downward turn as he became embroiled in a series of legal troubles that threatened everything he had built. Throughout the 1990 seconds and into the early 2000s, he faced multiple criminal cases, including accusations of assault, robbery, and even involvement in violent incidents. These legal battles not only weighed heavily on his personal life but also overshadowed his accomplishments in the music industry. His most infamous case came in 2015, when he was convicted of manslaughter after deliberately striking 2 men with his vehicle, killing one of them. The conviction led to a 28-year prison sentence, marking the end of his influence in the entertainment world and closing the chapter on one of hip-hop's most controversial figures. Lamar Odom, a highly talented professional basketball player well known to fans around the world, is often seen as a powerful example of how a promising career can be impacted by substance struggles. His basketball journey took off in the early 2000s, and he went on to join the Los Angeles Lakers, playing alongside the legendary Kobe Bryant. Odom helped lead the team to back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010, and in 2011, he earned the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award, one of the biggest honors of his career. Yet despite his success on the court, Lamar faced ongoing challenges with substance use throughout his life. The pressures and temptations that come with fame and professional sports contributed to difficult battles behind the scenes, eventually leading to decisions that affected both his career and his well-being. Lamar's career took a devastating turn on the 13th of October 2015, when he suffered a serious medical emergency while at a Nevada brothel. The incident left him in critical condition, facing major health complications, including kidney failure and multiple heart and neurological issues. The crisis not only marked the end of his marriage, but also brought his professional basketball career to a close. A player once celebrated for his skill and championships was suddenly better known for deeply personal challenges and life-threatening health struggles. This moment became a major turning point, forcing Lamar to face not only his battle with addiction, but also the emotional and physical losses that followed. Although Lamar Odom experienced incredible highs throughout his basketball career, he also faced significant challenges away from the court. His struggles with substance use, including cocaine and other stimulants, deeply affected both his personal life and professional path. Over time, these issues contributed to his departure from the league, legal troubles, and serious health complications. One of the most difficult moments came in 2015, when Lamar fell into a coma after a medical emergency at a Nevada brothel. From that point forward, his life changed dramatically, and he was forced to fight not only for his physical recovery but also to rebuild emotionally. Through it all, he found strength and support from family and loyal fans, and he continues to take steady steps toward healing and rebuilding his life. Lamar Odom's journey serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of mental health, perseverance, and confronting personal struggles head-on. In an interview with TMZ, Lamar shared how difficult things had become during his marriage to Khloe Kardashian, recalling a moment when someone he was involved with used his phone to call Khloe and ask her to pick him up. It was one of many signs that his life and career were slipping beyond his control. Once a rising NBA star with a bright future, Lamar found himself facing the heavy consequences of substance struggles and personal turmoil. Yet his story doesn't end there. It's also one of resilience, hope, and rebuilding. Share your thoughts on Lamar's recovery journey, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us as we continue exploring inspiring stories of determination, strength, and the will to rise again. In May 2019, he was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison, a dramatic fall from online stardom to public disgrace. Reports later suggested that some individuals in the entertainment world may have attempted to downplay or obscure details surrounding the case, adding even more controversy to an already troubling situation. Shortly after, his YouTube channel was permanently removed, erasing his digital presence. The case ignited strong reactions across the internet and became one of the most widely discussed scandals involving a social media entertainer in Hollywood. What really put him in serious trouble and ultimately landed him on this list was a shocking case connected to the deaths of two close friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sackchaser. These rising artists were tragically shot and killed in October 2018 under unexpected circumstances. Investigators allege that Melly was involved in planning the incident and attempted to stage it as a drive-by shooting. On the 13th of February 2019, Melly turned himself in and has been in custody ever since, caught in a long and complicated legal battle that has continued for years. Things escalated even further in late 2022, when prison officials claimed he was linked to a secret escape plan, an accusation that reportedly even raised suspicion toward members of his own legal team. YNW Melly burst onto the music scene with emotionally charged tracks like Mixed Personality featuring Kanye West and Suicidal with Juice WRLD, quickly gaining attention for his raw, heartfelt style. But while his music was climbing the charts, his personal life was unraveling. His legal troubles started early back in 2015. He served time for multiple assault charges, and by 2017, he was behind bars again for violating probation. Between 2018 and 2019, things escalated quickly. He was arrested twice, faced charges for illegal possession, and the legal issues just kept piling up. As of May 2025, Melly remains in custody, waiting for a verdict in a retrial after the jury reached a deadlock in 2023. His fall from rap royalty to inmate has become one of the most shocking stories in Hollywood gossip circles, a stark reminder that fame doesn't shield anyone from consequences. Once seen as one of the most promising young stars in the rap scene, with hit songs and a distinctive style, Melly now faces a string of serious legal challenges that have cast his career and future into uncertainty. From murder charges to lawsuits, his case has drawn intense attention from both the media and the public, and the choices he made in the past now threaten not only to end his music career, but also to leave a lasting mark on his life for years to come. MC Hammer, the rapper behind hits like You Can't Touch This and Too Legit to Quit, skyrocketed to fame in the early 1,990 seconds, building a net worth of over $30 million. But his lavish spending and poor money management eventually caught up with him, turning his story into a cautionary tale for up-and-coming artists. In 1991 alone, Hammer made around $33 million, roughly $50 million in today's money. Instead of making smart investments, he blew his money on luxury cars, a private jet, and 21 racehorses that could cost up to $1 million each. One of his most extravagant purchases was a 200-room estate that he spent $30 million renovating. On top of that, he maintained a 200-person entourage, which ran him about $500,000 a month. Combined with declining album sales, this excessive lifestyle led to his financial collapse by 1996. That year, Hammer filed for bankruptcy with debts exceeding $13 million and had to sell off assets, including his mansion and luxury cars. Once a top-selling rapper, he faced a long struggle to regain stability in the entertainment world. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, shocked the world when he was found dead at 42 inches the bathroom of his Graceland mansion. Once famous for his iconic hip-shaking moves, he had become a much heavier, unhealthy shadow of his former self. Toxicology reports later showed that his death was caused by a dangerous combination of drugs, including Diloted, Percodan, Demerol, codeine, and quaaludes. His longtime personal doctor, Dr. George Neopoulos, better known as Dr. Nick, had been treating him for years, originally for back pain. However, this treatment eventually spiraled into a full-blown opioid addiction. Dr. Nick later admitted to prescribing Elvis thousands of addictive pills and often tried to substitute them with placebos, but ultimately gave in to his requests. Ironically, Elvis, who had once been awarded a special badge by President Nixon for his anti-drug efforts, tragically died from an overdose, showing the devastating power of addiction. Antonino Lompio, better known as Nino Tempo, passed away peacefully at his home in West Hollywood, California, at the age of 90. His family confirmed the news, which was first reported by Billboard. While the cause of death wasn't disclosed, it sparked a wave of memories of a performer who effortlessly navigated music, film, and television for more than 7 decades. Tempo's recording career kicked off in the 1,950 seconds, performing with the Wrecking Crew and collaborating with artists like Maynard Ferguson and Elkie Brooks. He is perhaps best remembered for the 1,963 hit Deep Purple, recorded as a duet with his sister April Stevens. Released by Atco Records, the song topped the Billboard Hot 100 and earned the siblings a Grammy for Best Rock and Roll Recording. Selling over 1 million copies, it became a defining moment in his career. Tempo and Stevens continued recording together, and in the 1,970 seconds, he explored funk and disco with his bands, Ninampo and Fifth a Sax. Their track, Sister James, became the first instrumental disco song, a classic still cherished by Northern soul fans today. Tempo's impact went far beyond music. In the 1,980 seconds, he lent his voice to several special animated television shows featuring Garfield. He also played saxophone on John Lennon's 1,975 album, Rock and Roll, and delivered a standout solo on Kenny Rankin's 1,976 album. His versatility as a performer kept him relevant through shifting musical trends, and those who worked with him often remember his humor, talent, and generosity. Nino Tempo is celebrated by family, fans, and friends not just for his chart-topping hits, but for his lifelong dedication to the joy of performing. Born in Niagara Falls, New York in 1935, Tempo was recognized as a musical prodigy from an early age. He started playing clarinet and tenor saxophone as a child, and even performed on television with Benny Goodman when he was just 7. After his family moved to California, he appeared on radio programs and in films, including The Red Pony and The Glenn Miller Story. His sister and longtime collaborator, April Stevens, once reflected on their music, saying, "We don't chase trends, we just love what we do." That love can be felt in every note and remains his truest legacy. Nino Tempo's music wasn't just a collection of hit songs, it was a reflection of his heart and soul, present in every performance on stage. His contributions to the music industry will be remembered not only for his talent, but for a life lived for music, sharing its joy with the world. His legacy will forever be remembered not just for his success, but for his passion and unwavering dedication to authentic musical expression. Rick James, born James Ambrose Johnson Jr. in Buffalo, New York, was one of the most flamboyant and controversial figures in funk and R&B history. Rising to fame in the late 1,970 seconds, he captivated audiences with his wild performances, leather outfits, and provocative lyrics. When his iconic single Super Freak hit the charts in 1981, James cemented his status as a symbol of the raw, powerful energy of the funk era. With record sales surpassing $15 million and a lucrative Motown contract reportedly worth $11 million, he secured one of the most significant deals of his time. The court sentenced him to prison, and although he served only 2 years, his reputation was permanently tarnished. But the scandals didn't end there. James remained under investigation for his alleged involvement in unsolved cases and mysterious disappearances connected to his entourage. A rapid financial collapse soon followed, with lawsuits, debts, and unpaid royalties, making it impossible to maintain the lavish lifestyle he had once flaunted. Despite brief attempts at a comeback in the 1,990 seconds, including a short-lived revival with younger fans who rediscovered Super Freak through MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, James never fully restored his reputation. His health quickly declined under the pressure of drug use and decades of reckless living. But behind the glitz and glamour, Rick James was a man enslaved by addiction and a hunger for dangerous thrills. As his career soared, the darker side of his life began to emerge. Cocaine became his drug of choice, soon followed by crack and hallucinogens, fueling a lifestyle of marathon parties that sometimes lasted for days. Money poured in, and he surrounded himself with bodyguards, devoted fans, and a constant supply of drugs. By the late 1,980 seconds, stories of violent behavior, bizarre arrests, and erratic performances made headlines more often than his music. One of the most shocking incidents came in 1991, when James and his girlfriend Tanya Hijazi kidnapped a dancer during a 3-day binge, beating and humiliating her.